Hey everyone, welcome back to Stag Voiceover. My name is Neil Glasgow. In today's video, I wanted to go over and share my experience with you on how to be successful on Fiverr and, more importantly, how long it takes to be successful on Fiverr. So, let's get into it. So, first off, apologies for wearing the hat, but my lockdown hair is out of control and a hat is just easier. So, when I started this channel, I was thinking of all the things that people might be interested in when starting out in voiceover. And one of the biggest things is that people tend to congregate towards Fiverr. It's done very well as a platform for people doing freelance work, and particularly around voiceover. I mean, there are thousands of voiceover artists on Fiverr. So I wanted to really look at, from day dot, if you're just starting this now, what your expectations should be to being successful on Fiverr, give you some tips of what works, particularly now, COVID and all that sort of stuff, of what you can do to maximize your profits and potential on Fiverr and get seen, and how long it will take you to reach a level 1 seller. Now, and I'll continue to do this through all of the levels, but this one we're just going to cover off the level 1 seller. Now, what you need to know are some of the criteria that Fiverr measures you against. So those are being responsive to messages when they come in. You've got a certain amount of time to respond to that. They want a completion rate, so over 90% of your work needs to be completed successfully and reviewed positively. They want your deliveries to be on time. So unless otherwise stipulated, don't be late with your deliveries. A rating. So your rating, you can get up to 5 stars on Fiverr, and they need you to maintain a rating of 4.7 out of 5. But really, you should be getting 5-star ratings for everything that you do on Fiverr. That's the aim. And not difficult, to be fair. They have something called selling seniority. Not quite sure what that is, but they're measuring you against it. Orders, so you have to have received and completed at least 10 orders within their qualifying period, and I'll come to that in a minute. Your earnings, to get to a level 1 seller, you have to have earned $400 or more. And the last one is really days without warning. So that's where they don't have to say you haven't responded on time, you were late, you haven't, full pad on any of the things that I've just said. Now, what you need to be aware of is that Fiverr will review all of these analytics, and I'll put a thing up here just so you can have a look, because we've completed it today, or I've completed it today, that says we review every 60 days. So just as a bare minimum, you start today, you get in 10 jobs that accumulate up to $400. You won't make level 1 for 60 days, which means you have to maintain those stats for 60 days, right? That's really important. So the shortest possible period of you starting from day 1, you get 10 orders in, you get 10 amazing feedbacks, you respond to all your messages, and you complete all of those today, 60 days. The reality is you're probably not going to experience that. So my experience, and I suppose that's what you're here for, is it took me 7 months to get to the level 1 seller. So that was, 60-day period. I was about halfway there, and then the next 60-day period, which I'm just over actually, which will reset into February 15th, which is when my qualifying period will be up. I've hit that level. I've completed the jobs. I've done all the things. And that's not without having failure. I actually had a negative thing against me in the very beginning because I didn't respond to an email that came in within 24 hours. And this is something you need to be careful of. This isn't responding to emails of people asking you for work. I got in trouble because I hired someone, or rather, I put out a message on Fiverr. I put out a buyer's request, and we'll come to those in a second. I put out a buyer's request asking for some help on a project that I was working on, and I got 60, 70 responses, and I didn't respond to one within the period, and I had my stats drop down to 80%. And I then again had to wait for the next qualifying period for that to reset. A bit frustrating because it's not reflective of how you are as a buyer or a seller individually. They look at you as a holistic approach, how you are on their platform. So bear that in mind. Okay, so 7 months from setting up a new profile and doing all the work and the buyer's requests, etc., to get me to the $400 and pass all the criteria. That's, I think, a fair timeline, actually, to establish yourself a little bit on Fiverr. And actually, the interesting thing is, the more you do, the more work I saw coming in. Especially recently, as soon as I hit over that threshold, I actually started getting more work coming through. And when doing some innocuous searches, and actually just searching for some of the tags that my gigs would be under, I was coming up top billing because I had, I think I've got 13, 14 5-star reviews on just a single gig to showcase my skills. And this is the really important bit, and this is how you not only become successful on Fiverr, this is how you make your money on Fiverr. This sounds like I'm going to be giving away the secrets to Nirvana here, but this is common sense stuff, and the reality is it works. So, when you set up your gig, and I'm going to talk about this in a couple of parts. Gig first. You set up your gig. You say, I am, or rather, I will provide, because that's how they like you to start your gigs, I will provide a professional Scottish voiceover for commercial purposes. Something along those lines, or for character work, or whatever it is that you want to do. You need to really, really detail what your service involves. So is it for $5, I will give you this great character read, I'll do multiple voices, I'll provide it in a MP3, a WAV file, I'll self-record, I'll be at home, I'll be in my studio, whatever it is. Lots and lots of detail. And by all means, do your research on what your competitors have written. If you don't know what to write, and let's be fair, a lot of people start on the Fiverr profile and go, yeah, I know what to do. Look and see what other people are doing. Plagiarism in this particular case is fine in my book, especially if you don't know. You are a voice artist and a voice actor, you're not a copywriter. But if you want copywritten work, hey, Fiverr's got lots of people. Check it out. So write that out very particularly. That will work for all the keyword searches that someone might put in to find you. This is how you get found. Part 2, how you make money. Give it away for a $5. Not telling you anything that's shattering the world here, but it's what you give away for a $5. Rather, let me change that. What you sell for a $5, what your professional gift is for a $5. Now, personally, my gigs tend to say anything up to 25 words, $5. Anything over 25 words, the next 10, 150, whatever you want to put on there, will be charged at $10, $15. And do you want that today as a rush job? Well, that's another $30. Do you want that as a WAV file? Well, that's another $10. Do you want the commercial buyout rights? That's another $25. Do you see where I'm going with this one? So one gig that someone clicks on your stuff and goes, do you know what, I like that sound, I like that person. Yep, I can... And believe me, it happens. I've had gigs through that have been 24 words, 25 words, and do you know what? I've done it for a $5. But the gigs that come in and you go, oh, that mounted up. That's actually £140, dollars. That's $200, that's $300. It can easily happen. You have to be competitive, and you have to be of a high quality. Regardless of where you start, you have to be something that people want to buy. If I'm giving someone £3 or £30, I don't want to feel like, oh, well, it's only £3. I've got to expect it to be crap. No. Personally, no matter what, if I'm parting with my money, I'm expecting a quality of service or quality of product. So you still need to be able to do that, and you still should encourage your clients to want that from you as well. But as these things build, and you can negotiate with your clients when they email you, and I encourage you to have them email you before they try to book you, just to iron out any details. I mean, I've had someone even just yesterday try to hire me for a 900-word document, wanted to pay a £5 because that was their budget. And I'm in a position where I could turn that down, but I could also explain why in a very nice way, because I don't want to turn off any client that might come back to me with a bigger budget down the road. But if you're just starting out, I encourage you to take every single job and opportunity that you can, because ultimately you need those 10 jobs. Even if they're 10 $5 jobs, that's one criteria marked off. You're responding, you're getting your stats up. So the quick and easy way, as I say, have your gigs laid out really detailed, really full of information that people can put in their keywords and their searches, and you're going to pop up. Ultimately, people who have got 5-star reviews are going to get better billing on Fiverr. Why wouldn't they? Get your reviews up, and like I say, $5 jobs are still going to get you 5-star reviews. Do those. Do your pricing structure that essentially your hook is $5 for not that many words, and then all your added extras. And the amount of time that people click the added extras, that a $5 job goes to a $20, a $30, a $100 job, it does happen, and you can make money. I'm telling you this not because, well, I've only just hit $400 on Fiverr. This is a new thing that I set up for this channel to see how it would run, and to give you a real world insight into what we're looking at. And again, let's look at all of this with the same caveat as I've said with a few things. I've got a particular sound. If you have that more generic, I mean that politely, but more generic British, English voice, American voice that is more widely in use, you might experience that within 4 months or 5 months. But for someone like myself who has got experience on the platform, who does know what they're doing, I got there with really minimal effort in just about 7 months. And the last thing that I'm going to tell you to do, and I've talked about it in my Fiverr review, is the buyer requests. Now, the buyer requests, to be honest, they're a little all over the place. They're asking for men, women, children, languages of all kinds. You can apply for 10 a day. I don't tend to see even 10 a day. They're just not there, my personal experience. But that is your opportunity to go out there and look for work and also offer services. And in doing so, again, you are self-promoting. And Fiverr encourages you to promote your Fiverr gig on as many social media platforms as you possibly can. And I encourage you to do that as well. And do that with any platform actually that you're involved with. But the more that you're out there and the more that people can access you through these platforms, yeah, I think that is only going to help you. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into what you can expect to experience as a voiceover artist on Fiverr. Some obvious, hopefully helpful tips on how to actually make money on Fiverr. And as this particular profile grows up through the levels, I'll do some refreshes on these videos just to let you know how long that took, and if there are any new developments that I can pass on to you, or any new insight rather that I can pass on to you that I think is really going to help you as a new voiceover artist be more successful, not just on Fiverr but just in general. Hope that's been helpful. Leave me a like and subscribe, and as always, you can absolutely be a voiceover artist. I'll see you in the next video.